Hi folks, Dick Rhodes again. And I want to kind of cover something here that comes up quite frequently when I talk to customers at the various trade shows about why do I want to invest in a track saw system, which is going to be anywhere from $150 to $250 depending on whether I want a 4 or an 8-foot cut, versus $70 to $100 for a straight edge guide that's either a clamp on or a clamp is built into it. And again, these come in a variety of sizes, but they're up to 8 foot. Well, the first thing you can see by just physically looking at them is the track saw system gives you a lot more bulk. Now granted, there's some of these that are starting to widen out, but again, what happens to the price? It gets closer to the track saw system. But rather than boring you with a lot of technical details, let's get right down to what it's like. Hopefully some of you out there have done this, and what we're going to do is we're going to really save you some money today, because we're not going to buy anything other than a 1x4. Now you can't get much cheaper than a 1x4 and a couple C-clamps. Now if you've done this in the past, one of the things you realize, we're going to do an 8-inch shelf here. The first thing we have to do is we have to come into our saw and measure the distance between the blade and the outside of the shoe. Okay, and I've done all that. This is 6 1/4 inches. And so in order to save time and keep this video to where you can watch it, we have already measured out our shelf 8 inches. We've already measured back 6 1/16. We have double checked our measurements. Always measure twice, cut once. Then we brought the saw up and even double checked ourselves. Now that took about 6 to 8 minutes, and if anybody's done it, you know what that's like. So we've got all that out of the way, and what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this saw in and we're going to make the actual cut, and you're going to get a chance to see what it's like to work with a straight edge guide called a 1x4. Okay, and there is our cut. We've got our first shelf cut out using our 1x4, and as you can see, we've pretty well took that line out of there, so we stayed right on the money. Quality of cut, 40-tooth blade, not too bad. We got a little tear out, a little fuzz in through here. Okay, we have made our cut using the famous 1x4 and 2 C-clamps, and it came out okay. What you didn't see is the fact that we had to cut out about 6 to 8 minutes in the time it took to set everything up, measure everything, double check everything. Now, what I have done here is we have measured out 8 inches. We're now going to take our track. We're going to bring the track up to those marks, just like so. Then we're going to bring our track saw, or saw, in. Now, you'll notice our anti-chip edge right here is exactly dead on the cut. So that tells us exactly where we were going to cut at. We use that as our reference point. We also have anti-chip on the other side of our blade, which prevents the chip out from the other side of the cut. And we pull this back. And you remember the old adage about saws, you always put the good side down, bad side up. Well folks, take a look at that quality of cut. That's a 40-tooth blade, nothing fancy, but with our anti-chip edge, we get a beautiful cut every time. Okay, to kind of summarize everything, straight edge guide, clamp, or board and 2 C-clamps, the challenge you have is setup time. On this particular one, we did it off camera, so we kept the video short enough for you to be able to watch it. 6 to 8 minutes of setup time. Now, another minute, minute and a half to cut it. And of course the challenge we had is every time we went to cut it, we could drift away. The beauty of the track saw system was, we measured it, you saw the cut. From measurement to setup time to cut was probably around 2 minutes. And no matter how long it is, we could put the track together to keep on going out, and the saw is trapped on the track, so we've totally eliminated the human error. The cut line is always right here on your anti-chip edge, so again, we didn't have to come back in and do a bunch of remeasurements, which is what took us so much time here. Quality of everything here, I think, was pretty good. Not gonna knock it. However, the time it took, good way to eat up a lot of time. Over here, we got it done a whole lot quicker with even a better quality cut. So folks, I hope I've answered some questions for you that pop up all the time. The biggest benefit of your track saw is always going to come back to perfectly straight, simple to lay out, quality cut with a standard 40 tooth blade.